Elizabeth Clayton, called Ellie by everyone who knew her, stood by the window watching her 8-month-old daughter Emma sleep under the Japanese maple in their garden. The gentle May breeze swayed the baby's bassinet, filling Ellie with quiet joy. She'd once been a buyer at a high-end New York department store, but now devoted her days to motherhood. Sipping her coffee, she felt certain this had been the right choice. Still napping, Ellie turned as her husband Michael stepped from his office. His warm brown eyes showed tiredness but overflowed with affection. His engineering job kept him busy, often tying him up in endless video meetings even when working from home. Yet he always made time for his family and gladly helped with their daughter. Yeah, she just drifted off. She cried all night yesterday, so I hope she sleeps well today. Michael went to the window and put his arm around Ellie's shoulders. You're doing great. Emma's a lucky kid. Ellie smiled, leaning against her husband. Their quiet moment was interrupted by her phone ringing in the living room. She checked the screen. Vanessa was calling. Ellie sighed. Vanessa again, she said before answering. Probably about that fancy crib. The chat with Vanessa went just like Ellie expected. Vanessa worked as a manager at a fancy brand store downtown and always kept up with the newest trends and status symbols. She was asking again about the baby crib she'd given to Ellie and Michael. Ellie, are you using that crib yet? I want to see pictures. Post them on Instagram. Ellie closed her eyes, gathering her patience. Not yet, Vanessa. Emma still seems to like the bassinet better. For now. At 8 months she must have gotten so big. The elite sleeper works from 6 months to 3 years. Super popular with celebrity moms. Get it, but mom's worried too. She says it's such a bummer that this pricey gift isn't being used. Vanessa's voice sounded kinda annoyed. Ellie stared out the window, squinting her eyes. Vanessa, can't you just let us take our time? After hanging up, Ellie plopped on the couch and gave Michael a tired look. Same old conversation again. Michael asked as he sat next to her. Vanessa and Mom act like not using what they pick for us is some personal insult. Family stuff had always been tricky. Her mom Carol, an ex-high school teacher, kept busy in local social circles after retiring. She always cared about appearances and worried what people thought of her. Her dad Thomas was easygoing but usually went along with his wife and Vanessa's ideas. Ellie was always seen as the sensible one and sometimes got called boring. I got an email from your mom yesterday, Michael said. They're coming this weekend. Your father too. Ellie frowned. Really? She didn't tell me. Maybe they're coming for that baby crib, Michael joked, but they both knew. Ellie felt a headache coming. Her family was loving, but sometimes they didn't respect her choices. Especially her mom and Vanessa never understood Ellie's practicality and always pushed her to be more stylish. The phone rang again. This time it was Ellie's best friend Rachel. Rachel was a former colleague from when Ellie worked at the department store and one of the few people she kept in touch with. Rachel, I just needed to talk to you, Ellie said, relief in her voice. What's wrong? You sound tired. It's my family. They're on my case again about that baby crib. Ah, the elite sleeper. You still haven't used it. Ellie hesitated. Actually, I don't plan on using it. Why not? I'll explain, but I'd rather chat in person. Wanna grab lunch tomorrow? That cafe. Thanks, that'd be great. After hanging up, Ellie turned to Michael. From her look, he could tell something was up. Everything all right? Yes. Ellie sank back into the sofa and said, carefully choosing her words, there's something I need to tell you about that baby crib. Just then they heard Emma crying from the garden. Michael stood up saying, let's talk later, and headed outside. Ellie watched him go, feeling torn between her desire to avoid conflict with her family and her determination to keep her daughter safe. Maybe talking with Rachel tomorrow would help her decide what to do. At least Rachel would understand. 3 months ago, Ellie's baby shower had been held at her parents' spacious suburban home. Pastel pink and blue balloons swayed in the garden, and delicate finger foods were beautifully arranged on tables. Surrounded by friends and relatives, Ellie smiled as she greeted everyone, cradling her growing belly. Then came time for gifts. We've got something special, Carol announced as Thomas and Vanessa carried in a large box. This is from all of us. Ellie carefully peeled back the wrapping to reveal an elegant baby crib. The high-end sleeper, with its glossy white finish and delicate gold accents, was stunning. It's perfect for you, sis, Vanessa beamed. Fits your minimalist vibe too. Gorgeous, right? Carol nodded. All the celebrity moms are raving about it. That Hollywood star uses it too. It's a fancy thing, so be grateful. Ellie saw the price tag was gone from the box, but she knew this brand's deal. It probably cost more than half her month's pay. Thank you, really. She stumbled. Thanks for such a nice gift. But inside she felt weird. Why didn't Vanessa and her parents ask her and Michael about the simple, useful crib they'd already picked? After the party, while Michael was packing gifts into the car, Vanessa grabbed Ellie's arm. Thanks for faking happy in front of everyone, she whispered. I could tell from your face you weren't into it at first. But trust me, you'll be the mom everyone's jealous of. Ellie forced a smile. I was just caught off guard. I appreciate it, really. At home, Ellie skimmed the crib's instruction manual. Page after page bragged about luxury materials and smart design, with stuff like celebrity kids' favorite sleep solution everywhere. Almost nothing about safety testing or what's actually in the materials. You seem bothered. Michael peeked over her shoulder at the manual. I don't know, Ellie frowned. Something feels off. She pulled out her phone and searched for elite sleeper crib reviews. Tons of celebs and influencers showed up, all posing their babies with the same crib. But she hardly found any honest reviews about the product itself. Next day, Ellie met Rachel at the cafe. It's gorgeous, no doubt, Rachel said, eyeing the crib pic on Ellie's phone. But, you know, style over substance, Rachel shrugged. It's weird there's so little info about safety. You think so too? Ellie sighed in relief. Thought I was just being paranoid. Your mom. You've got every right to be paranoid. That weekend, Ellie and Michael put together the crib. The parts felt fancy and the instructions were clear. But Ellie noticed a crazy strong smell from the finished bed. Doesn't this smell weird? She asked Michael. Michael sniffed it. It's got a bit of a new product smell. But it'll probably fade. Ellie wasn't convinced. She held Emma and brought her near the crib. Strangely, the usually calm Emma suddenly got fussy and began rubbing her face with her little hands. What's wrong, Emma? Ellie watched her baby with concern. Small red spots started appearing on Emma's cheeks. Ellie quickly moved her daughter away from the crib and took her to another room. After a few minutes, the rash started to fade and Emma calmed down. The next day, Ellie ran an experiment. When she brought Emma close to the baby crib again, the same thing happened. This time she even began coughing. Ellie quickly moved the baby away, feeling really worried. Michael, she called to her husband. There's something off with this bed. Emma seems to be allergic. Michael was doubtful at first, but changed his mind when Ellie showed him pictures on her phone. Emma's red rash near the crib and her clear skin away from it. What could be doing this? He frowned. I don't know. But I think we should stop using it. That afternoon, Ellie secretly bought another crib from a local baby store. She chose one that was simple, practical, and clearly met safety standards. She set it up in another room and started putting Emma to sleep there. The baby was fine. But the problem was with her family. How's the crib? Does Emma like it? Messages from Vanessa came nearly every day. So lovely, thank you. Ellie kept lying. Send me photos. The request came from her mom too. Ellie made up excuses. She's napping right now. Let me clean up first. I'll take a nice photo this weekend. Today Michael came home early and sat Ellie down on the couch. I need you to be honest, he said with a serious look. Why aren't you using that fancy baby crib? I know you're hiding another bed. 'Cause you're worried about the family. But why? Ellie took a deep breath. See for yourself, she smiled. Try putting the baby to sleep. Looking confused, Michael picked up Emma and walked to the fancy sleeper. When Emma started flailing her little arms and legs, the moment Michael tried to lay her down, her skin got red and puffy with bad coughing. Michael snatched Emma back, his face turning pale. Oh my God, he said, voice shaking. Something's definitely wrong. Ellie took Emma from him and gently rubbed her back. This is what I wanted to tell you. Something from the bed is causing Emma to have an allergic reaction. Michael's expression became determined. We need to investigate. This isn't just a sensitivity issue. Could be something serious. Ellie looked at her husband and felt true relief for the first time. At least he would be on her side. But she knew there'd be conflict with her family ahead. Your mom and the others are coming next week, right? She asked. Michael nodded. We'll have to explain. Do you think they'll understand? I don't know, Michael answered honestly. But Emma's health comes first. That's for sure. Holding Emma close, Ellie wavered between anxiety about what was to come and determination to protect her child's safety. The next morning, Michael called his job to take time off. Ellie looked relieved at his decision. "How do we investigate?" Ellie asked, sitting at the kitchen table sipping coffee. Michael opened his laptop and said, "First, we gotta figure out what this is. Let's get samples from the bed." Ellie nodded and said, "Rachel's friend Natalie works as a medical reporter. I'll try reaching out to her." Michael started carefully checking the baby crib. He took small samples from spots with the strongest smells. Ellie was struck by Michael's serious look. Until yesterday, she'd worried she might be overreacting, but now she felt they were handling the problem together. "My college buddy David is a pediatrician," Michael said. "He might help arrange tests." Ellie grabbed her smartphone and looked up Elite Sleeper health issues. The first results were mostly company press releases and glowing reviews. But after scrolling through several pages, she found social media links with "content has been removed" messages. "This is weird," she frowned. "There are tons of deleted posts." Michael glanced at her screen. "That's fishy. Something's probably being hidden." That afternoon, Ellie met with Rachel and her friend Natalie. Natalie was a journalist who'd written a bunch of articles about child product safety. Taking a sip of coffee, Natalie said, "Actually, I think I've heard things about this brand." She opened her laptop and began searching through her files. "Got it," she suddenly exclaimed. Last year, a blogger deleted all her content after criticizing the Elite Sleeper. "I thought it was odd and tried contacting her, but..." Ellie leaned forward. She refused to talk. "Looks like there was a legal issue." The three women exchanged looks. "So you're saying someone's covering up known problems?" Rachel said, "Possibly." Natalie chose her words carefully. "I'll dig deeper." 2 days later, Michael got a call from his friend David. His voice was tense. "Mike, your test results are back. I've got bad news." Michael put it on speaker so Ellie could listen too. "What did you find?" Ellie asked nervously. "High levels of formaldehyde and a flame retardant banned years ago. They're especially in the wood finish and glue. These can totally cause skin rashes and breathing issues." Ellie and Michael exchanged glances, gripping the phone with shaky hands. "David, thanks a ton," Michael said. "Anything we can do. I'll file a formal report. This stuff shouldn't even be on shelves. You should report it to the Consumer Product Safety Commission." After the call, they were silent for a moment. Tears of anger and sadness welled up in Ellie's eyes. "Our family gave poison to Emma as a gift," she said, her voice trembling. Michael took her hand. "They didn't mean any harm. But now we need to figure out the truth." That night, Natalie called them. Her voice was excited. "Ellie, you were right to be suspicious. From what I hear, the Elite Sleeper is all about looks and status, but the actual products are made cheaply in unregulated Chinese factories. They're using connections to skip safety checks." "But how? Aren't U.S. safety standards supposed to be tight?" Ellie asked, confused. "That's the issue. They've labeled their products as luxury furniture to dodge the tough tests for kids' items. On top of that, they hand out freebies to celebs for hype and pressure them to hide any issues." Ellie shook with rage. "So other babies are in danger too." With a determined look, she opened social media and shared her experience with a warning. But hours later, the post disappeared. Instead, a threatening email from Elite Sleeper's legal team appeared in her inbox. Ellie shivered reading it. "Making false claims about our product is defamation." That weekend, Vanessa and their parents came to Ellie's home as planned. Ellie answered the door holding Emma, forcing a smile. "Emma, you've grown so much." Carol reached for her granddaughter. "Let me hold her." Ellie handed her baby to her mother and guided everyone to the living room. Vanessa's eyes immediately locked onto the new crib in the corner. "What's this?" She raised an eyebrow. "Where's the one we gave you?" Ellie took a deep breath. "I got something to tell you." As she explained the crib's issues, her mom's expression tightened. When Ellie brought up the test results, Vanessa crossed her arms and huffed. "You're overreacting," she snapped. "Babies are tough. Thousands of babies use that crib, and I've never heard of any issues." "Is that really true?" Ellie shot back. "Because info is being deliberately hidden." Carol sighed. "Elizabeth, back in our day we didn't stress about these chemicals. You young parents freak out over everything." Ellie tried to keep her cool. "Mom, this isn't about freaking out. Emma actually had a reaction. She got a rash and started coughing." Thomas finally spoke up. "If there's really an issue, we should check it out, right, Thomas?" Carol shot her husband a look. "You're siding with her now." The fight got heated, and when Carol snapped, "You parent like a perfectionist," Ellie lost it. "You care more about looks than our kids' health," she said, voice shaking. "This bed is making Emma sick." The room went dead quiet. Just then Michael came home from work. He felt the tension and right away knew what was up. "Everyone watch this," Michael said quietly. He took out the special crib and set it in the middle of the living room. "Can I hold Emma?" he asked Carol. Carol hesitated before handing her granddaughter to him. Michael brought Emma close to the crib, and as they all watched, red spots popped up on Emma's skin and she started coughing. He yanked the baby back fast. "No way." Thomas looked shocked. Rachel and Natalie arrived just then. Natalie opened her laptop and showed everyone the proof she found. "This is fraud," Natalie said. "They charge a lot for fancy designs, but the stuff isn't even safe." Carol went quiet and dropped onto the couch. Thomas shook his head. "We gave this junk to our granddaughter. Vanessa still wasn't buying it." "What about me if this leaks? I pushed it on Instagram." Ellie felt crushed by those words. "You still care about appearances. More than Emma's health." "That's not true." Vanessa snapped back, but avoided her gaze. Ellie lifted Emma with fierce resolve. "My daughter's safety matters more than family pride. And for other children too, I'll expose the truth." The family fracture was undeniable now. Thomas was coming around to Ellie's side, while Carol and Vanessa shrank back in shame. Ellie made up her mind, gearing up for the tough fight ahead. The battle to protect truth and safety had begun. The next morning, Ellie woke up to her phone buzzing. She glanced at the screen and saw Vanessa's Instagram post. "This weekend made me realize how much family matters. Too bad some people don't appreciate the little things. #family first #misunderstood." Ellie sighed. After yesterday's blow-up, Vanessa and her mom had left furious. Only her dad, Thomas, had given her shoulder a quick squeeze on his way out, murmuring, "I'll look into it." "You good?" Michael walked in from the kitchen and offered coffee. "Vanessa's been throwing shade online." Ellie handed him the phone. Michael scrolled through the feed and frowned. "Look at the comments. Your friends are backing you up." Sure enough, a bunch of Ellie's friends had commented. Even Rachel wrote, "Safety first." Ellie put down her phone and focused on making Emma's bottle. "If I don't speak up, other babies could be in danger." That afternoon, Ellie posted in her local moms group asking about baby product safety. She didn't call out any brands, just started a general chat about high-end baby gear. The response blew up. Turns out, tons of moms had the same concerns. One said, "My baby got a rash from a luxury brand too," and another mentioned hearing that some companies fake safety tests. While Ellie was cooking dinner, her phone dinged. An email from an unknown address. *Ms. Elizabeth Clayton, this is Elite Sleeper's legal department. Spreading false claims about our products is defamation and harms our business. Get in touch with us ASAP about this." Her hands were shaking. Michael put his hand on her shoulder and said, "Don't worry. You're doing the right thing." The next day, Ellie and Michael filed a formal complaint with the Consumer Safety Office. They included David's test results and the proof Natalie had collected. The process was easier than they thought, but the official warned, the investigation will take a while. Few days later, Rachel called. "How about we do a workshop tomorrow at the Moms Group on baby product safety? Natalie says she'll talk as an expert." "Seriously?" Ellie was shocked. "I'm kinda scared after getting warning emails from the company." "That's exactly why it matters," Rachel said firmly. "They're trying to silence you. But you've got backup." The workshop happened at the local community center and more moms showed up than expected. Natalie explained kids' product safety rules and Ellie shared her story as a shopper. She skipped specific brand names, just calling it a fancy baby crib. "My point is, don't just go by price or looks. Check safety yourself," she wrapped up. However, during the presentation, the door swung open and Vanessa walked in with an angry look. "How dare you do this?" Vanessa snapped, her voice shaking. "You're wrecking the family's reputation." As the room went quiet, Ellie took a deep breath. "Vanessa, let's not talk about this here." "I'll prove to everyone," Vanessa insisted, "that my sister is just being paranoid." Ellie glanced at Michael. He gave a slight nod and stood up, holding Emma. "I'll show you proof," Ellie said softly, nodding to Michael. He pulled out a ready sample of the Elite Sleeper from his bag and held it close to Emma. Right away, a reaction started showing on the baby's skin. The crowd gasped. "This isn't fake," Ellie told the group. "As moms, we've got to protect our kids' safety, even if our family doesn't get it." She glanced at Vanessa. Her sister's face looked angry, confused, and a little ashamed. "Are you seriously selling stuff that hurts babies?" Vanessa whispered. "What I'm saying is we shouldn't care more about looks than safety," Ellie answered softly. The meeting got the attention of a local news reporter, and a short piece made it into the next morning's news. Ellie's interview was part of it. 3 days later, a press release said the Consumer Safety Agency had started looking into Elite Sleeper. A week later, the company announced they'd recall the product voluntarily to make improvements. Hearing this, Ellie felt proud but also really worn out. She had won, but could things with her family ever be fixed? As Ellie sat on her porch at home, someone showed up unexpectedly. It was her mom, Carol. "Can I come in?" she asked in a quieter voice than usual. Ellie nodded. Carol sat on the couch and after a moment of silence said, "You were right." Ellie searched for words. "No, listen. I was wrong. I'm sorry for criticizing your parenting. You are truly a good mother, Elizabeth." Ellie took her mother's hand. Tears filled her eyes. That night, Michael hugged Ellie in the kitchen and whispered, "You did the right thing. You're the best mom." Looking at Emma's sleeping face, Ellie knew the rift with her family would heal with time. Most importantly, she didn't regret trusting her gut and standing up for her daughter. 6 months later, Ellie invited her family to her backyard. Brunch was laid out on the table while Emma, now 18 months old and toddling around, played under the morning glories. "I have something to tell everyone," Ellie said, standing with a glass in hand. The whole family, Michael, her parents, and Vanessa, turned to her. "We're expecting another baby." Tears welled up as Carol hugged her daughter. "Congrats, Elizabeth." Thomas patted Michael's back, eyes glistening. Over the past 6 months, their family had slowly healed. Elite Sleeper recalled all products and released new models that met safety standards. They never publicly addressed the earlier problems, but it became an industry wake-up call. "Check this out," Vanessa said, showing Ellie her phone. Her Instagram, once full of luxury posts, now featured tags like #SmartChoices and #ChildSafety. "I only stock safety-certified products now," she admitted, slightly embarrassed. After everything, she'd temporarily lost her social media influence. Now she's found a new path. "That's amazing, Vanessa," Ellie said warmly. Carol held Emma in her lap and said, "Safety beats looks any day." She still fell into old habits now and then, but always put her grandbaby's health first. After lunch, Thomas took Ellie aside. "You did the brave thing," he finally admitted. "I should have had your back sooner." "It's okay, Dad," Ellie squeezed his arm gently. "Family's messy, but we figure it out together." Later that evening, Rachel dropped by. She and Natalie kept pushing their baby product safety campaign, and Ellie's bold move inspired many families. "You saved countless babies," Rachel said, hugging Ellie. "You should be proud." After Michael tucked their daughter in, he joined Ellie on the porch swing. As the sunset painted the sky red, Ellie felt deep contentment. "It was rough," Michael said, squeezing her hand. "Facing family hurt," Ellie admitted. "But I'd do it again to protect my child." In the bedroom, Ellie watched Emma sleep peacefully in her sturdy wooden crib. The second baby's space was already ready right beside it. This whole thing taught Ellie how important it is to trust her mom gut. Sometimes you've got to stand up for your kids, even if it means going against the people you love most. Moonlight poured through the window as Ellie rested her hand on her belly. New life was growing there. She'd fight like hell to protect her children no matter what. That's just what a mother's love does.